My name is Melanie. I'm a middle-aged, middle-class white female who originates from the United Kingdom and the first member of my family to be accepted into a postgraduate course. I was born in RAF Wroughton in Wiltshire and moved to my father's hometown of Colchester in Essex when I was 4. My mother was a working woman from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire, and my grandfather, her father, was a coal miner and had 7 siblings, 2 of which died in colliery accidents. He was forced to leave school at the age of 12 and join the colliery to bring an income into the family while his eldest brother and his father were fighting in World War I. During World War II, he had to take a period of leave from the colliery due to a lung infection and was put in charge of inventory accounts at the local American Army base because he was a bit of a maths genius, able to calculate large sums in his head, and he was also able to put this to good use, working out form at the local races. My mother was adopted at birth in 1940 and was raised by these 2 loving individuals. Her mother worked in cotton mills to supplement their income so that they could send her to grammar school. They were working class socialists and put a high value on education and saw it as a way out of poverty. My mother did not only complete her secondary education to the age of 16, but was also the first in the family to attend sixth form, and she began a lifelong career after that working for local government. Her income with my father's income pulled them out of the lower working class confines and into the upper working class affluence that grew in the 70s and 80s in the UK, allowing them to afford yearly holidays and send me to private school during my junior education from age 7 to 11. After that, I continued at the local comprehensive, completed sixth form and started an arts degree before I met an Australian and migrated at the tender age of 20. Once I came to my senses here in Australia, I decided that university was the right path for me, and I wanted a career that was worthy of the strong matriarch of my family. In the back of my mind, a creative career didn't seem like a viable option. I grew up in Thatcherite Britain, where jobs were scarce and careers even more scarce. So I began to apply for teaching positions to combine my love of theatre with my strong ethical background in the importance of education. I always thought I would be a teacher. Even before I went to school, I would play at teachers. I've created this little artistic impression of me circa 1976, teaching my teddies absolute nonsense, using upturned biscuit tins for desks in my classroom, not too far from reality. So I began my teaching career here in Queensland, trained in English and drama, and once I graduated I obtained a contract to teach film. Once this contract ended, I was offered another job teaching film and drama at a school at a state school. I loved teaching film and I wanted to continue to teach film. So in order to become the best film teacher I could possibly be, I trained myself up, joined teaching networks like Australian Teachers of Media. I became a Queensland Schools Authority panel member. Eventually I became a panel chair, and I also became the vice president of AtomQ, and earned myself a reputation that led me to my current site of practice. So after 16 years, I now teach in Queensland Academy's Creative Industry Campus, teaching film studies in the International Baccalaureate Diploma. The students I teach have been specifically enrolled because they wish to specialise in the art of filmmaking and are considered gifted and talented. I enjoy strong academic and artistic outcomes from my students, with great successes in the diploma and beyond in the industry. However, I am aware that there is a big gap in my knowledge around artistic praxis. While I'm able to teach all aspects of theory and filmmaking, from pre-production design to post-production colouring and effects, The importance of education in my background and my socio-cultural upbringing has led to an absence of self-driven artistic exploration. This has led me to question the disparity between how I deliver artistic experiences in my classroom and the artistic experience of the individual artist. I am a teacher, and therefore my pedagogical practice is restricted to political policy and pedagogical research. My side of practice is a state government institution, politically bound in its policy. Everything I teach must be accessible. It is restricted by timeframes, numbers in the classroom, and available resources, whether it is art through learning or learning through art. Using experimental practice, I wish to use self-reflexive research methods to document the process of designing and creating an artwork without any political agenda and without any pedagogical framework. Discovering the missing links between the authentic personal artistic experience and the prescribed processes that take place in my classroom. I want to remove the pedagogy from my art before embedding my art into my pedagogy.